Hey, this is Johnny Powers. I'm out in Wine Region, Niagara Region, close to Greater Hamilton. This is about Hamilton in the factory. There was 60 of us crazies that came out of there not wanting to go into Stelco or Dofasco, couldn't quite make McMaster. I'll tell you something. It's the toughest, roughest, unbelievable, most logical, illogical factory in the world. It was the factory. Don't you dare miss it. I'll tell you something about Jack Wentworth. I was a 15-year-old kid. I was 159 pounds, 6'3", size 13 feet. I was called canoe boots. Within 18 months, Jack had me up to 268 pounds, and I made a mistake. I said, "Is wrestling fake?" He beat me up so bad for 4 days I couldn't go to school. But out of that came one of the roughest, toughest, meanest, nastiest fighters ever known in the whole wide world, Johnny Powers. I had 4 great iconic matches. One against the Sheik, the original Sheik in Maple Leaf Gardens. This guy was selling out for 7 years. They brought in Powers to knock him off. I didn't quite knock him off, but I knocked him out of the ring so many times he wouldn't come back, and he left to the dressing room. He still kept his belt, but I was the winner. The next one was against Johnny Valentine, same Maple Leaf Gardens. We went to curfew. The only problem is we started at 9 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, they turned down the lights. 2 hours later, even Steven draw. Maybe the toughest, meanest, baddest guy ever against Johnny Valentine. Another one was the Iron Sheik. This guy was a crazy bodyguard from the Shah of Iran. I'm fighting him in Trinidad, outside of Tobago. A Brit comes by. I thought I was a good guy. It almost clipped me. I said to the referee, "Was that meant for him or you?" No, they can't go straight with their aims here out here. And so that was Iron Sheik. The next one was Abdullah the Butcher. Craziest, meanest, silliest rascal with a fork every time. He didn't eat with a knife, he ate with a fork. This guy and I sold out Japan. In about 14 countries we sold out. Those are just 4 of the great memories from a guy from the factory.
So tell me how long you fought and,
Well, John from the Hamilton Spectator, actually I fought from the age of 15. At 16 I was making 2 bottles of beer, and I didn't drink beer, I was still on high protein. By 17 I had my first pro fight in Detroit, Michigan. I lost, sadly I lost to a guy named Ivan Kalmakov. By the time I was 19 I turned pro. I wrestled in over 50 territories around the world. I ended up with 5,007 professional fights, some for 2 bottles of beer in front of 75 people, but a couple in front of 20 to 60,000 people outdoor stadiums in Nigeria and the like. I retired basically at the age of 37, going on to 39. I did a couple charities, and my mother questions me all the time, "What do you do it for? You really should have had 7 fights and become back a world champion." Well, the other 5,000 because I couldn't stop wanting to fight. And for a part of the time there, in the 60s and 70s, I was Canada's most international ambassador as a fisticuff pugilistic fighter.
what kind of price have you paid for?
Well, that's a real good question. I guess plumbers get plumbing elbow, and guys, carpenters get calluses. Well, I've ended up with 2 brain concussions. My front teeth kicked out once, punched out another time, and one time I threw a chair at a guy named Vern Gagne, hit the middle rope and come back and took those teeth out again. I've had my nose broken 5 times, 275 stitches in the forehead. I just come back with a new knee and a new hip from a Dr. De Beers in Hamilton. I go in March approximately for 2 new shoulders and then another knee. So I'll end up with 5 new joints. And no jokes about dangling participles, please, here. Okay, but I'm ready to rock and roll. I feel like a young kid, 25. If I get those going again, I'm going to challenge the whole world again. They got to be over 65, but I'll challenge the whole world again.